فإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين سبحانك ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our Jagal Kambarataka for leading the dua. Before we proceed with the event further, I would like to welcome Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman to the room. We are pleased to have you here. Before we proceed with this event further, let us spare a moment to hear the recitation of Holy Al-Quran. I would like to call on Muhammad Rizki Zaini Lubis to the stage. To Muhammad Rizki Zaini Lubis, the stage is yours.
Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كونوا قوامين لله شهداء بالقسط ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. وعد الله الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. والذين كفروا وكذبوا بآياتنا أولئك أصحاب الجحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ هم قوم أن يبسطوا إليكم أيديهم فكف أيديهم عنكم واتقوا الله وعلى الله فليتوكل المؤمنون صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the enchanting recitation of Holy Al-Quran. To begin this webinar, please join me in welcoming the Chief Committee of 2021 Region 1's Muslim Managerial Leadership Camp, Dafa Fatihahda, to give his opening speech. To Dafa Fatihahda, the time is yours.
Thank you, Nabila Ulfa-Yasmin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahillazi arsala rasulahu bil huda wa dinil haqq liyuzhirahu 'ala dini kullihi wa kafa billahi syahidan wa asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah iqraran bihi wa tauhidan wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma shalli ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. All praises be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful and beneficent one, who creates the world, all the mankind. May salawat and taslim are always given to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and upon his immaculate household, chosen companions, and those who follow them well until the day of judgment. Allahumma shalli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. The Honorable, the Dean of Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Sumatera Utara, Profesor Dr. Aldi Safruddin Rambe, Spesialis Saraf Konsultan, the first Vice Dean of Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Sumatera Utara, Dr. Haji Delujar Haris, Magister Kedokteran Patologi Anatomi, Spesialis Patologi Anatomi Konsultan, the Head of Medical Science Department, Universitas Sumatera Utara, Dr. Dewi Masyidah Darlan, Diploma in Applied Parasitology and Entomology, Master of Public Health, Spesialis Parasitologi Klinik, the Governing Officer of Student Executive Boards, Forum Studi Kedokteran Mahasiswa Muslim, from Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Sumatera Utara, Dr. Yeti Makhrina, Magister Kesehatan, Ahli Mufaal Olahraga Klinis, and the Honorable, our presenter this morning, who inshallah is extraordinary, Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman as our first presenter. I am very pleased to be able to welcome the honorable guests and those who attend in this international webinar with a very interesting theme, embracing true Muslim leadership personality. And I ask Almighty and merciful Allah to bless this collective effort and make it an effective step towards Muslims' happiness. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Dafa Fatihahda as the chairman of the committee for the first regional Muslim Managerial Leadership Camp. So, Muslim Managerial Leadership Camp is one of the work programs of the Human Resource Development Division, Forum Ukhuwah Lembaga Dakwah Fakultas Kedokteran. So this morning's webinar consists of two materials. The first material discusses about the transformation of prophetic leadership in disruptive era by Prof. Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman. And the second material discusses about optimizing the potential of mosque as a catalyst for civilization in the pandemic era by Dr. Insinyur Syarif Hidayat. So here, I also ask a permission to report, Alhamdulillah, the number of registrants is 388 people, and the current number of participants that present is 249 people. And please tell your friend, family, they can also join and following this webinar on YouTube channel Foskami PMF Kosu. Now, I just want to say the same thing that I've said on the first day of MLC. There is an old saying that said that hope is like a star, not to be seen in the sunshine of prosperity, and only to be discovered in the night of adversity. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Muslim youth around the world is the hope that is intended. In the condition that we never imagined would happen, there are now fewer stars than before and dimmer than usual. Inshallah, this webinar will be a trigger for all of us so that in the future, there will be more stars than before and brighter than usual. Hopefully, this study event can run smoothly and we are given a good understanding. I think that's all from me. I apologize if there are mistakes in words or deeds. To Allah, I ask forgiveness. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much to Dafa Fatihda for the wonderful remarks. To acknowledge the presence of the Dean of Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Sumatera Utara, who is with us today, I would be glad to call upon Professor Dr. Aldi Safruddin Rambe, Specialist Saraf Consultant, to give his opening speech. To Professor Dr. Aldi Safruddin Rambe, Specialist Saraf Consultant, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Dear colleagues and friends, before we start, I would like to thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has been giving us nothing but blessings and mercies, so we can all gather and attend this meeting in a good condition. And may salawat and salam be with our beloved Prophet Muhammad SAW, who has guided us from the darkness into the world hereafter. In this opportunity, I would like to thank the committee, and also I would like to send my appreciation for Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman and Dr. Engineer Syarif Hidayat as the speakers for today's webinar about embracing true Muslim leadership personality. Humans have their role as caliph, as leaders on earth, and this undoubtedly is the role we all need to carry. The essence of leadership has been practiced by the prophets, especially Prophet Muhammad SAW, who was based on his prophetic qualities, namely Siddiq, Amanah, Tabligh, and Fatanah. We as good Muslims need to carry on the prophetic leadership qualities he taught and should be able to implement the values of prophetic leadership and make it a key principle in carrying out our lives. It has been proven historical that mosques have played a huge role in the context of building and driving the development of Islamic community in various aspects. However, throughout the changes of times, it became a tremendous battle to sustain its role as a center of Islamic community. I would like to welcome everyone who has gathered for this webinar, and I hope we would get a better understanding about the transformation of prophetic leadership in the disruptive era, and on how to optimize the potential of mosques as catalysts for civilization in the pandemic era from today's webinar. Enjoy the webinar. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Aldi Safruddin Rambe, Specialist Saraf Consultant, for the remarkable and inspiring words. We have now come to the most awaited moment, the presentation about transformation of prophetic leadership in the disruptive era. But before that, please allow me to introduce our respected moderator, Ahmad Razi Maulana Alnas. Ahmad Razi Maulana Alnas is one of the staff of Kajian Kedokteran Islam Division of Foskami Pema FKUSU. And for your information, he's also ranked first among the most outstanding students of FKUSU 2020. All right, without further ado, may I call upon our respected moderator, Ahmad Razi Maulana Alnas.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all of the participants of international webinar of the first regional Muslim Managerial Leadership Camp 2021 with the topic Embracing True Muslim Leadership Personality. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. Very thankful to all of us that we can gather in this Zoom meeting. Let me lead for the first session of this webinar. In this first session, we'll be learning from Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman. Right before we enter in the first sessions, let me introduce our first speaker. Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman, a contract professor and consultant anesthesiologist at the College of Medicine, International Islamic University in Malaysia, who had a lot of interest in Islamic medical educations, medical professionalism, and of life care, leadership, and entrepreneurship. Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman is qualified as Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery from University of Malaya, Master of Medicine in Anesthesiology from University Kebangsaan Malaysia, and Master of Business Administration, which he obtained the degree in January 2020 as a part-time student and currently promoting entrepreneurship to empower IIUM students and the society. He is married with Dato Dr. Zainun, a retired radiologist who will continue with students of Master in Medicine, especially in Radiology program, and blessed with 4 adult children and 4 grandchildren. He had been teaching medicine since 1993 and served 4 years in the National University Malaysia and later joined the IIUM in 1997. He is also an entrepreneur as a founder and CEO of Praktis Budiman Sendirian Berhad, producing compost from kitchen and food waste. During his time in IIUM, he had contributed as a clinical administration in various positions, such as Head of Department, Coordinator of Islamizations, Staff Promotion Committee, Deputy Dean Postgraduate, Deputy Dean Student Affairs, and Deputy Campus Director on Student Development and Community Engagement. Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman has a lot of interest in Islamic medical educations, especially for the medical undergraduate, Islamic input in medical program, and also supervising the Ph.D. students on medical futility from the perspective of Al-Maqasid Al-Shari'ah, and 3 other students taking the Master of Medicine in Anesthesiology in IIUM. His main research area is on issues of Islamic input in medical program and of life care, such as organ donations, medical futility, advanced medical directives, medical ethic and professionalism, and also leadership. As presented right on your screen, there are a lot of research and innovations and also publications that have been made by Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman. He authored several books and wrote many articles on those subjects. He is also active in non-governmental organizations, Badan Nadwa Islamiyah Pahang, that champions in hemodialysis service, Home for the Poor and Orphans Children, and Mobile Mushallah. He had also been teaching in a lot of national and international lectures and presentations since 2005. He had been across the nations, especially with the topics related to Muslim leadership, as the topic that we are going to talk about today, and other contributions to the university, communities, and medical educations. With his life motto, life is short, life is beautiful, and life has a purpose, Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman today will be delivering a presentation about transformations of prophetic leadership in disruptive era. I'm really sure that every of you are waiting for the presentations, but let me remind you once more to pay full attention, turn on your camera, and mute the microphone. If there were any questions regarding the topic, there will be a discussion section right after, and you're open to write it down in the chat box. And here we come for the first sessions of the MMLC 2021. With honor, let me welcome our first speaker, Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman, time, and platform is yours to deliver. Assalamu'alaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya wal mursalin, sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Sadaqallahul azim. Alhamdulillah, first and foremost, we thank Allah SWT for giving us this opportunity to meet for the very first time on Zoom to discuss about the important topic of leadership. But before that, I want to share the presentation. How shall I do that? I try. Is my what you call that slide on the screen now?
Okay, Prof. Maybe the committee will turn off their share screen.
Yeah, I tried to share. I could not allowed yet.
Okay, Prof. Wait for a minute. Okay, Prof. Can you try it once more because the screen share is open right now? Is it available?
Let me see. Okay. That's technology. Allahu Akbar. Maybe Maulana, can you put up the screen for me? I mean, the one that I shared with you last night.
So the committee will turn on the share screen, Prof.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me inform the committee.
But before that, while waiting for the technicality to be over, so first of all, I would like to congratulate the student leaders. You all are student leaders. You all are our future leaders. I mean, for organizing this meeting. So you will not be able to do it well without good quality in you, good leadership quality in you. So I would like to congratulate, and this effort is commendable. It is very important and is very timely to discuss often about the importance of embracing true Muslim leadership personality, which is the theme of this first regional MMLC, Muslim Managerial Leadership 2021. I like the title, Embracing True Muslim Leadership Personality. So here, it is our duty as a person, as a Muslim, to continuously improve our leadership, because leadership is part and parcel of our life, and it is a reflection of our duty or our task as Khalifah on this earth. And we know that life is a spiritual journey. Life on this earth is very short, but we have a purpose. It is purposeful. That means we have the duty as hamba Allah Ta'ala, as his slave, as well as Khalifah. So let us always be reminded of this important aspect of our life, because life is a spiritual journey. We are now in the third phase of our life in the Alam Ruh, then Alam Rahim, now is in this world, the very short world, and then after that we are going to Alam Barzakh, and finally Alam Akhirat, and inshallah to the Jannah, and we shall meet again in Jannah, inshallah. Next. So that's the topic given to me, transformation of prophetic leadership in disruptive area. It's good to note that good character or good akhlaq is not given to us. We have to build it piece by piece, by thought, by choice, and we need to have the courage and determination to do it. Even up to this point, I'm still improving my character, my akhlaq, because every day is a different day. Every day is a new day, because life is full of mystery. We do not know what's going to happen next. And what we have in our life is only dua. And we always hope for the best, inshallah. Okay, as introduced earlier, I'm a consultant and a sociologist, and also a social entrepreneur, as well as now, me and my friend, we are, we have established this practice Budiman. Our company's name is Practice Budiman. That is our core value. Budiman is our core value, which means berbudi dan beriman. In other words, when we live, we have to improve on this aspect in our life, to give back to the society, to give back, and at the same time giving back within the framework of Sharia. That means if we give our, say for example, if you want to give sadaqah, it has to be sincere. It has to be ikhlas. That is very important. It's not for showing off, inshallah. So that is one aspect of what we are going to try to talk about in this topic, prophetic leadership, as part of the important aspect of leadership development that we need to do all the time. Next. Okay, basically what I will go through with you is about a little bit on what is disruptive area. Then I will spend a little bit more time with leader. What is the definition of a leader, leadership and transformation. And as I said earlier, that it is our duty to continuously improve our leadership qualities, the attributes. And of course, when I look at the topic, disruptive era, so basically it's about the style of leadership. It's about the approach of leadership that is very important for us. And whatever it means, when we talk about adaptive, disruptive, prophetic leadership, and many others, if we learn it from the book, like what I've learned when I took up the Masters of Business Administration, these are the important topics that were covered in that 3-semester certificate course. So this is about the style of leadership, and it is our duty to improve our leadership. And we have no other choice but to be the best leader, to lead and to make a change. And finally, I will conclude. Next. Okay, I found that this is a very practical definition of a disruptive era. In fact, all our life, there are a lot of disruption. When I was small, we have back home, we have these riots. That disrupt our life. We have this communist insurgency in Malaysia. Then when I grew up, and in 1987, 85, there were economic downturn. So it really disrupt our life. And then there is also another economic crisis, 1997. And now we have this unprecedented COVID-19, coronavirus 19. And now we are in the second year of the pandemic, and soon, inshallah, it become endemic. That means we have to live with corona. Okay, so that's where the leadership style is important, and we need to learn. And you, as our future leaders, you need to know, you need to embrace good leadership quality. More so when you are doing business. And in doing business, the entrepreneurship mindset is very important. I know that in Indonesia, it is called wira usaha. In Malaysia, we call it usahawan. Whatever it means, that means I'm the proponent of entrepreneurship education, and that's the reason why I took up MBA at the age of 59 and graduate when I was 60. So I was the what you call that, the oldest member of the class, and I enjoyed learning with the young people and learn from them about the new things, the internet things, all those things that I learned from the young people. And Alhamdulillah, why I decided to do this business, practice Budiman, the name of the company is Practice Budiman, because I believe that, you know, when I apply the knowledge that I learned, I will give more impact to the society. And it's important for me to know the people in the business world, because I have the intention, I have the mission to change the mindset of people. And inshallah, if I got the time, I would like to take the Ph.D. in business management, because I believe that I want to promote a theory of what you call that Budiman organizational management. Because nowadays we talk about this theory which is not so much what you call that comfortable, to me as Muslim, because I understand that there are a lot of things in the economic, in the business world that is unethical, and we need to change that. And to change that, that means I need to have a PhD, to write a theory, to write books on entrepreneurship, and I hope I can do that, inshallah. So right now, because I just got the master's. So this is something that I want to share with you, that if you want to make a change, we have to change ourselves first. Okay? So in this disruptive era, entrepreneur has to adapt quickly to the reality, identify the customer's need, and of course, we can't go about not knowing the technology. I learned all these things, you know. At this age, I learned, and I think I'm quite good at it, inshallah. Next. That's why the higher learning institutions, the universities, the college are adapting or are forced to adapt, or else would become outdated in response to these new changes, the disruptive area that we are in. Because if the university did not change, people will not come to the university. So they need to change their strategy, because graduates need to acquire leadership competency as part of their educational journey. So that the outcome would be the graduates would be able to survive and lead and give the impact to the society. Next. There are various types of leadership, as I mentioned earlier: authoritative, transformational, resilient, adaptive, disruptive, service-oriented, and many more. And of course, we try to promote the theory of prophetic leadership as type of leadership, which is getting more attention through many writings on the subject by many authors. Next. Nurturing leadership competency could be achieved through entrepreneurship education. I strongly believe in that. And because entrepreneurs need leadership skill to ensure that their business model materialize. Entrepreneurs need the right mindset, have creativity, see challenges as opportunities to serve people, and in the process create wealth for themselves, their families, without forgetting to benefit and empower the communities, the nation, and so on, the world. Okay, next. It's important to note that the word disruptive be seen in the positive sense, which is the ability to disrupt our own practice. We need to change our approach. We need to change our paradigm. And that's why policymakers, institutional leaders, universities, they need to change and create the conducive environment for entrepreneurship development for the students. And like myself and my friend, when we establish our practice Budiman Sendirian Berhad, that means we would like to tell people that we are also an institutional learning organization, because like what the Japanese, for example, the Mitsubishi company, they make sure that learning is part and parcel of their duties. In other words, they are adopting the what I call that, the meaning of education, lifelong education. So that's Mitsubishi. That's why, I mean, they survived till this time. You see. So learning institution need not be only the universities. Okay. So I want to prove this to my colleague, to my community, to the world, inshallah. Next. Now I talk about leadership, and transformation. And in fact, should bring about transformation, to bring about change. Next. And the change that I want to bring about is to have a Budiman people, a person who give back, and at the same time is a good Muslim, has a good personality, has a good akhlaq. A leader is one who leads, or simply someone who sees the opportunity for change. We see the opportunity for change. That's why we believe that we need to establish this company. We work as a team to materialize the. And most important, I want to remind myself and every one of you that leadership is an activity, not a position. See, you can be the leader, but if you are a bad leader, your organization will collapse. But you have good personality, you have good leadership style, and prophetic, for example. So people will be loyal to the organization, to the company, and so on. I'd like to mention Mitsubishi again. The company practice that, and the workers are loyal to the company. So this is something that we need to emulate from the Japanese. Okay, so leadership is an activity. It's a process, not a position. Of course, in any organization, you need a leader. That means to manage the day-to-day activities, planning for the future, and so on. Talking about who will be the next leaders. Let's say right now I'm 61. Anytime I will die, but who's going to take over as a leader? So these are the things that we need to plan. So succession planning, talent management is important in any institution. If you want to have the positive transformation that we desire. Next. So leadership is about change. It's about making change that begins with the right mindset and attitude and commitment to acquire that attributes throughout our life. And it has to be continuously improving. Transformational leadership approach is important for success. That means we know what we are going to have at the end of the journey. So, we have to change, okay? Next. Taking the example of our journey that we hope to transform our society with this opportunity that we have in front of us. the issue of food waste in Malaysia. Too many people, affluent society eat a lot, waste a lot. If we pile up all this food waste, it can be as high as the Twin Tower. So that's a big issue. It pollutes the environment. So if you have this entrepreneurship mindset, you see opportunity. And we want to recycle this waste material into compost. Kalau di sana dipanggil pupuk ya. Betul ya? Pupuk. Kalau di Malaysia dipanggil baja. Okay, here I mean our product name is Baja Budiman ataupun Baja Ariff. I just want to that's the purpose why I highlight the name Baja Ariff, because Ariff is my name, of course, as the founder, and also Ariff means that when people look at the what you call that at the name of the product, that means people know that it should be from a Muslim company, and it has to be halal and tayyiban. So that is our what you call that, our unique selling point for our product. So we see the opportunity. So that's why we establish a company as the platform to actualize the vision of having what you call that, this product, as well as improving the or minimize the problem of pollution and to protect the environment. Next. So we from the university, of course, we do research and development, and because we see this problem not only in our country, throughout the world, this is the problem, the issue. So we have this smart machine and smart bin to process this food waste and kitchen waste to become compost. And another reason that we do this, because we want to, of course, show the good example, at the same time provide opportunities for our graduates, for our students to learn and gain experience of entrepreneurship while at the university, because our company is just next to the university, and students can learn to what you call that, to attach at the company and have some idea, experiential learning about managing a business. Next. Okay, the transformation. Okay, when we establish a company, we have a vision and mission, and the actualization of the mission is the transformation. And we choose to empower the people through entrepreneurship activity. And we believe that by doing that, we also support the Ministry of Education's vision of producing graduates who are job creators, because they are exposed to the experience of entrepreneurship while they are pursuing their study at the university. And our mission is to produce Budiman entrepreneurs who have the quality of wanting to give back, to berbudi, as well as being a Budiman, beriman person with faith. So that with that quality, they would be able to become the agent of change as leaders that give positive impact to the community and the country. Next. Business venture should give benefit in the long run. So that's what I believe. Whereas the what you call that, the current economic theory, the capitalist theory, business means to make as much as profit as possible, not giving back to the society. Only now people are start to talk about CSR, or corporate social responsibility, whether it is something that is what you call that is mandatory by law in some country, and to encourage people to do that corporate social responsibility. They are exempted from tax, things like that, to encourage the company to do that. But in our company, we envision that, with the introduction of the concept, the Islamic concept of having, sadaqah, giving zakat and wakaf right from the beginning, and which is also included in our budget. So hopefully this shall become our culture, and that culture is the Budiman culture. So that's what we want to do, and that's what we want to propose as a theory of organizational management, Budiman concept, inshallah. Next. So to me, whatever names given to the leadership styles, whether it is adaptive, destructive, transformational, resilient, and so on, to me as Muslim, just remember this, Amir. Developing or acquiring leadership attributes is a great amanah, which should be acquired and accomplished in the environment of mahabbah. And striving to develop these attributes of being a good leader, a Muslim leader, a Budiman leader, is regarded as ibadah. And our activities, because remember I told you just now, leadership is a process, is an activity, is guided by the risalah of Al-Quran and Hadith. A-M-I-R, Amir. Next. So these are the adaptive leadership traits. Some of it. One is commitment to lifelong journey, lifelong learning. As I shared with you just now that I took up MBA at the age of 59 and graduated in 2020 at the age of 60. And other traits includes, we push certain qualities, certain core values, like in our context is the value of berbudi and beriman, which would be regarded as something that is accepted in the company. And the other traits would be the willingness to change the mindset, to change the paradigm, eager for new information, get inspiration from others, even from small children. And at the same time, when they do things, they also think about others. Generate unimaginable wealth for themselves, their investors, their employees, the communities, and others connected to their companies. That means when we do a business, the mindset is to help others. To gain barakah, we need to help others, inshallah. Next. Okay, I've touched this earlier. Disruptive era such as the pandemic COVID-19 offers opportunities and challenges for educational institutions. I'm happy that pandemic, to me, is a blessing, or else I have to go to USU to talk. Now I don't have to. I've been to USU once to give a lecture there. And then, now I'm here talking to you. Alhamdulillah. Maybe one day I will visit again because I like Medan. The old name is Delhi. I love this Hamka, his books. I read a lot of his books when I was small. So to me, Indonesia is very close to me. It's close to my heart. We are the same stock. Ataupun kita kata serumpun, ya. So because of this disruptive era, it leads to a lot of uncertainty. So things change, the way we do business change. Sometimes it's even faster than we could cope. That's why we need to work as a team, a strong team. But to work as a strong team, you need financial strength also. That's why to me, to have a good business, a good company is very important, because without good funding, a lot of things could not be done. Just as what in the university that we are facing, we want to do good things, but we don't have the funding. So that is the reason why, me and my friends, we have this company. We want the first month that we make profit, we put aside for Tabung Budiman, because that Tabung Budiman is meant to help the students, the community. We make it a point that, 7.5% of our total sale is put aside to Tabung Budiman every month. So that with that money, we use it for sadaqah, for wakaf. Wakaf means, we want to make madrasah, universities, hospitals. These are the things in the long run that the company wants to do. Okay. So this is something that it gives opportunity for us to venture into into this business. Okay. Next. So I would like to reiterate that entrepreneurship education prepares graduates with the right leadership attributes to deal with the many uncertainties of the real world. This allows them to become job creator rather than job seeker. It's nothing wrong to be a job seeker. So if our practice Budimas neighborhood prosper and have more branches, more networking, in fact we can establish company in Indonesia, in other countries. So in other words, we create jobs and people can work with us, things like that. Okay, let me reiterate that you as future leaders, you need this competency, this skill. Okay, not just to to spend your time getting your degree and that's it. After that, you graduate, look for a job. Not so good. Now the world has changed. Those days it's easy. Once you graduate as a medical student, you know that you will get a job. Now, not necessary. Even in Malaysia, okay, not necessary that you will get a job. Okay, that's why entrepreneurship is important. Next. Earlier on, your dean has said that Siddiq, Amanah, Tabligh, Fatana is very important, and that is the basis of professionalism also. Leadership of the Prophet Muhammad is described as task-oriented, maintaining unity of the Jama'ah, ensuring the well-being of the companions. These are the three attributes that were summarized by Prof. Adair. In his book, Leadership of Muhammad SAW. Okay. Prof. Adair is a Christian. Okay. So we want to change and we want to introduce the concept of Budiman in the organizational management, which shall be task-oriented, clear directives with clear line of authority, creating the healthy work environment. Next. To conclude, next. Your future is now. The future is now. I'm still working. I'm still writing. Because, as I said earlier, life is a mystery. We do not know what's going to happen next. We just move on, make a lot of dua. There's a lot of hope. And it's important for you to acquire leadership attributes while at the university. Be committed to change. Make lifelong learning as your culture. And don't forget, and please be involved in entrepreneurship that your university provides, because entrepreneurship education enhances your leadership attributes. And my acronym for this responsibility is AMIR, acronym for acquiring or nurturing leadership attributes, which is amanah, mahabbah, ibadah, and risalah of Al-Quran and Hadith. Next. My life motto after I officially retired, to live well till I die. I will continue writing and working. I will empower people and myself through entrepreneurship. I'm leading my company, my NGO in Indonesia is called Lembaga Swadaya Masyarakat ataupun organisasi masyarakat, Ormas. And another L is lifelong learning. Live well till I die. Inshallah, this is the topic of my book. Live well till I die. Inshallah. I think that's about all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with you a little knowledge that I have. And I love to talk to young people because the young people are the future leaders. And to survive in this world, we need to be very creative. We need to have the attitude of lifelong learning, and more so in Islam, you know, seeking knowledge is amanah. Seeking knowledge is a trust from Allah. Seeking knowledge is compulsory. It's wajib, wallahu alam. Whatever is good is from Allah Ta'ala, whatever is not good is from me. We make dua that we continue our life in the best way, in the best manner as Khalifah. Wallahu alam. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman, for the very amazing presentations and also the sharing of the experience. From here, we can know that from the presentations that we can think that we are now in a very disruptive era. Many things had changed, and also, of course, as a Muslim, we will require to adapt, survive in many settings or many kind of occasions, and guided with the prophetic leadership styles in ourselves for the truth that we actually need, and we have a responsibility to empower this for the society good. I'm sure that here every participants are eager to ask. Let me remind you, maybe if you would like to ask, you are open to choose the right hand box in your Zoom platform, or maybe you can write down in the chat sections. Maybe Prof, here we have got some questions for all of the participants who would like to ask. You can write it, but firstly, maybe write down your name so we can interactive with all of you. Okay, Prof, here we have one of the participants has been raising hand. We have Kurnia Aman. You're open to turn on your microphone.
Okay, thank you, Bang. Before that, I would say thanks to Dato Ariff Osman. My question is, this disruptive era is closely related to the condition of advanced digital technology. So the youth that born in this era have a very different culture with the old generation. They used to talk using social media and do not see someone as senior or junior to them. Many of them say what they want on social media without paying attention to politeness. They often give negative comments on someone's account, which can cause anxiety, insecure, and also depression. So what should we do to eliminate or deal with this situation? Thank you.
Thank you, Kurnia, for that important question. So we are actually living in this, is a real world now, disruptive world, because the technology comes very fast. Even nowadays, to bring up children is not easy. During my time, there's no such thing as WhatsApp or VC. and a lot of other things. So to answer your question, I believe that, it's always go back to education. So to the educators like us, or like the teachers in school, they have not learned about it when they were in training. So that's why I told you just now, lifelong learning is very important. So I remember, if I can share with you, and I believe it's also the same throughout the world, before the pandemic, people are hesitant to use the Google Classroom, to use the Zoom, to interact with the students, right from the, school, a young school age. So the teachers in the young age, they do not have the opportunity to teach the students. And also the parents at home, they don't have the skill to, including myself, I'm still learning, how best to tell our kids or our grandchildren to use, to interact in the social media in the best manner, in the best of akhlaq. If I may share with you, every time when I share any posting on my Facebook, I always begin with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Because when I do that, I remind myself that my hands will be the witness in front of Allah Ta'ala. So hopefully when I write Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I got the pahala already. And then only I share. So that's the same thing also I tell my students. Please, before you upload your writing, I always write on my notes first. I write, I verify whether it's a good posting or not, or else I did not post it up. I write it first before I put or respond on somebody's FB also. And I don't simply say bad things to people. I choose not to say bad things. That's why, to me, when we communicate through social media, you must remember IT. IT means ingat Tuhan. And we must tell ourselves only the yes thing. Yes means yang elok-elok sahaja. Only the yes thing. So these are the things I believe that we need to educate our young people. Young people means like me, my children, my grandchildren. I always remind them, please, Allah is near. It's so near, nearer to the jugular vein. So we need to educate. That means, or else we will cause unnecessary stress, anxiety on other people. And the worst thing is that we don't even know that person. We just condemn or just say bad things. So that is very bad akhlaq. So these are the things that we need to relook at our curriculum, the primary school curriculum, the secondary school curriculum, the university, and so on. Wallahu alam. So the basic thing is still education. Okay, thanks, Colonel. I think that's about all I would like to respond to your question. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Prof, for the answer. Maybe for our brother Kurnia, if there are any other questions that you would like to ask or to respond or to discuss again with Prof, you're open to directly turn on your microphone.
Okay, there's one question from Putri Dafa Zulfianti. How to encourage some young generation nowadays to start applying leadership and stop being passive about it? Okay, Alhamdulillah, that's a very good question. And this forum, embracing true Muslim leadership personality, that means we have to develop ourselves. Okay, how to encourage? One of the things is, involvement in such activity, such as this activity, is not easy. I know that a lot of students, their excuse is that I don't have time, it's boring, really, it's better for me to play games, all these things. Only a few students, maybe 5% or 10% of the whole student, that are very concerned with other people's welfare. That means when you have that personality, wanting to help others, that is, in a way, developing leadership quality in you. The leadership in you make you like to serve others. The leadership in you make you think about others, the welfare of others, believe me, okay? So I think to answer that question, to encourage is, we need to show the, what you call that, like for this first regional MMLC 2021. To me, getting 200 over participants is a success. That means there is a good leadership quality in you, among the panitia. That means you are able to communicate, to encourage people to join, even as participants. If we organize any meeting, people don't come, so we don't feel good. We want to be, we want to get motivated by the presence of more audience. Okay, so to encourage people, the younger generation, is to make them see that involvement in ormas is important. But if they are not interested, so let us teach them to make business. That means we teach them about entrepreneurship. So through entrepreneurship, we inculcate the leadership quality. That's why now I choose, teaching the young people through entrepreneurship, the leadership quality, because we need great leaders. Okay, wallahu alam. How to give apprentice to leader when he give good leadership to all of member? Give me example like Rasul story. Thanks, Dato. Ridha as-Siddiqi. Okay, apprentice means you are fortunate to have someone, a murabbi. Like for me, every day, I have my own ustaz. In the morning he will call me, and we read the Quran. Today I read 7 pages of Al-Quran, and then the ustaz will share. I mean, tadabur on some of the ayah. So to me, because I respond to, because there is apprentice to leader, that means you must have a mentor. According to this question, you see, apprentice to leader. That means we still need our role model. I still have my sifu. I still have my own teacher. When I have problem, I always call Prof. Kamal Hassan or Prof. Siddiq Baba, who is my senior. I still have somebody to consult. I still have my good friend. My wife is my good friend. I always ask her. Okay, that means, in other words, leadership is a continuous process. I keep on repeating on that. It's a continuous learning, because you want to improve. At the end of the day, you want to live and die as a Muslim. Okay, and if we die as a Muslim, and we can recite the La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, inshallah, I mean, our place in Jannah is almost certain, inshallah. So leadership is very important, because leadership is part and parcel of being a Khalifah. And of course, to be a good leader like the Rasulullah SAW, that means we need to read a lot of the seerah, a lot of example of, to be a good husband, for example, to be a good leader, to be a lot of other things from the example of the Rasulullah SAW. Thank you. Any other question?
Thank you very much for the answer, Prof. Maybe we can open to another participant who would like to ask. You still can ask it directly. Maybe you can raise your hand, or maybe you can write it directly down in the chat box. Oh, maybe Prof, here we have a question written in the chat box, but unfortunately it was sent directly or privately to me. So let me read it up to you. Here we have a question that how can we really maintain the istiqomah as a good leader? So when we have been a leader, we've tried to copy how Rasulullah SAW did. But when we are above as a leader, it's always changed. Many things have changed. So how can we maintain to be istiqamah?
To be istiqamah is a blessing, is a hidayah. That means every day we must make dua. Oh Allah, please make me a istiqamah. Give me istiqamah, Ya Allah. We must always make dua. The best of things in life, the best of zikr is la ilaha illallah. The best of deeds is salah. The best of reading is the Quran. So, and of course, the dua is very important. You must make dua to remain istiqamah, to persevere, because we do not want to be someone who did not walk the talk. Ataupun cakap tak serupa bikin. Or in Islam, in the firman Allah Ta'ala, lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. You say something but you did not practice it. So that means there's no istiqamah. So when we take this responsibility as a leader, all of you here, especially the panitia, you all are committing yourself to be a good leader. That means you must continuously make dua that Allah give you the istiqamah. You are fortunate if you have good mentor around you. You have good friends, you have good murabbi, role model, then you are fortunate. But not everybody has got that, that situation. So to me, to maintain istiqamah is do a lot of dua, make a lot of dua. Because hidayah is milik Allah. I'm afraid of talking all these good things because I may not be the one, who practice it. I may be the one who say lima taquluna ma la taf'alun, but in reality I did not do it. So I just talk. So sometimes I'm also afraid. Wallahu alam.
Thank you very much, Prof. So we have another question here from Dato.Ir in the chat box, Prof.
Let me read it again.
Okay, Prof.
We do not feel arbitrarily or feel lazy in this disruptive era because now everything can be done easily. I don't really get what you mean, but but I can see that feel lazy. Yeah, it's back to the determination, back to be having good friends, good circle of friends, make a lot of dua, be in a jama'ah, be among the student leaders, student activities. So this is one way of polishing your ability, your quality as a good leader, as a good khalifah. To me, a khalifah is a leader. Okay. So in life, we have hablu min Allah, hablu minan nas. We communicate with Allah Ta'ala through our prayers, and we communicate through the, to fellow mankind through our leadership quality. And we interact or mu'amalat with people with good manners, with good quality leadership. So these are the things. That means, more so in this disruptive era, sometimes we are too excited with new terms, disruptive era, IR 4.0, IR 5.0. So, but it all, basically goes back to the basic of how we go about living as a good Muslim, how we go about improving ourselves or actualizing the need to become a true Khalifah and a good and a true humble Allah Ta'ala. Do we communicate with Allah often? Do we wake up in tahajjud? Do we make it a point to read Al-Quran every day? Can we finish reading Al-Quran 1 juzu a day? These are the things that we need to improve all the time. Even myself, I'm still struggling to become a good leader. I hope to die as a Muslim. Wallahu alam. I hope it answers the question to Raudatul Ridha.
Thank you very much for the answer, Prof. So to Dr. Rida, is there any other question that you would like to ask or to respond? Okay, maybe it's clear enough. Prof, here we have another questions. Maybe it's
The panitia, Afni Rukia.
Oh yeah, here we have people with raising hand. Maybe we can go to Afni Rukia first.
First, thanks, brother, for giving me the time. And first, I should like to thanks for Prof. Ariff Osman. And my question is, I have here the quote today say, today a reader and tomorrow a leader. From your experience, is that really relatable to your experience? And what kind of reader that should or can make us as a leader? And how to be a good reader? Thanks, Prof.
Okay, Afni, for that question, thank you very much. I was a student leader. The desire to help others, it is in me, alhamdulillah. And I improve my leadership quality as I go along my life from a young students to become a lecturer and professor, and now I've already officially retired and then re-employed, and at the same time, what you call that, managing my own company. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Through my experience, that means if usually when we start as a leader, we will remain forever as a leader, inshallah. But remember, you know, there are small leader, big leader. Big means, that means you are the president, the prime minister, the ministers. To me, that is big, you know, because there are many more people under your care. But I choose to be a small leader, you know, but small but strong in presence, meaning to say that, you know, my involvement in the LSM, you know, we have this dialysis center, which we established in 2001. It's already 20 years. Now we have 2 more branches. And now we venture into another business model. That means we open up a franchisee model. That means we are the one who, I mean, because when you want to establish a dialysis center, that means you need a license or that. So that part of the process, our NGO do it, and after that we let another person, another company, which we call it the franchisee, to run it. So that is another success story. That means you know, it's an ongoing process. That means to be a leader, a leader usually serve people, and that's what we see in the personality of Rasulullah SAW. He always think about his ummah, even at the time of death. Ummati, ummati, my ummah, my ummah. You know, so this is the quality, and we need to get inspired by the Sirah Rasul, by reading success story of other people. You know, but to me the best model is Sirah Rasulullah. Read a lot of Sirah Rasulullah, so we can get inspired about how to be a good leader. Always thinking about the welfare, the well-being of the companions. Always thinking about others, how to make things better. Like in this, in our company, you know, we are thinking, you know, by next year, inshallah, we should be able to produce more entrepreneurs, so that more people can feed their own family. You know, we want to get the community to learn how to produce compost. You know, so that they can have their own vegetables, things like that. And I forgot to mention to you just now, our main product, which is the compost, can be also compressed to become food pellet. This pellet is suitable for fish industry. Okay, that means we can help more farmers. So that means, in other words, that means being a leader, you are always creative. You want to make change. And I choose to be a small leader. I don't enter politics, but I choose to be a medical teacher. I love talking to young people. I'm happy to see my students become the dean of another medical school, things like that. I'm very satisfied if my students become successful entrepreneurs, successful in their whatever endeavor that they are in now. So these are the things that, you know, in other words, it's your choice. My choice is that being a small leader is enough. Even though people ask me to enter politics, I said no, because politics is not my passion. My passion is still teaching. Remember, I want to live well. Well means I want to continue writing, continue working, continue empowering people through entrepreneurship, continue leading my organization, and of course, lifelong learning is my passion. Wallahu alam. Good character. Okay, what is this?
Yeah, we have a question from Ulfa Ramadhani Ismanasdian, Prof.
Which one to, okay. What should we do? Okay, akan.
Maybe, Prof, can I help to read it? That the question is about how to get a strong determinations to build the good character if we don't have a self-confidence, and in another hand that many people drop it off.
Okay, I would like to offer to you, you know, this shall not be the only meeting between you and me. After this, if you think that you can benefit from my experience, you can always interact with me. We can have a Zoom talk or whatever, you know. That meaning to say that, you know, because to answer that question, to have confidence. I used to be not confident when I was students, you know, but when I have other people, you know, that I feel that I can learn from them, get motivated from the way they handle things. So I improve my confidence. So maybe you also can do that, you know, by talking to others. Like I'm offering myself now to help, to interact with you if you want. You can have my number. We can always WhatsApp as well as VC, video conference, things like that. Wallah alam. So that means to have self-confidence is something that we need to develop. It's a long process. Can be long, can be short. But confidence is something that Allah gives. The hidayah is still made Allah. Allah gives us and we ask for it. Jangan lupa berdoa.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer, Prof. And maybe, unfortunately, because our first session is running out of time, unfortunately, and maybe for all of the participants who would like to ask, you're still open to write it down in the chat box, and we would like to forward it to Prof. Ariff, inshallah.
Yes, please.
And yeah, bro.
You can.
Yeah, bro. Sorry. Maybe because we are quite running out of time, and for the first session, maybe would like to hear or to listen maybe some closing statement or closing message from our speaker, Professor Dr. Ariff bin Osman.
Okay, maybe I would like to share this. Continuously updating yourself, or else you will get outdated. I repeat, continuously updating yourself, or else you will get outdated. So lifelong learning is very important. I'm still learning. That's why I take up MBA. I want to learn new things. I want to learn about management, which I don't learn when I was medical students. Because I want to have my own company. That's why I take up. And that means it's all there. Yeah? It's all planned. Okay? Because I want to live well till I die. Wallahu alam. So remember, continuously updating yourself, or else you will get outdated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Ariff, for the very beautiful close statement. And thank you very much for giving us very lot of knowledge in these conversations. Maybe, unfortunately, as we are running out of time, maybe I have to close these conversations, but maybe let me set a pantun for all of us that life grows and go further. A lot of things will come exceed. May all of us be a true leader like Prophet Muhammad SAW did. May this conversation spread berkah for all of us and surely for our society and written as deeds inside of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. I'm Muhammad Razi. As the moderator today, would like to apologize if there are any fault while conducting these sessions. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you very much for leading the session, moderator. I am very grateful to have you here. MashaAllah, such a good topic from Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman. This definitely gives us a new insight as a future Muslim leader. I would like to thank the professor for the great presentation. Attention, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to remind all of you to activate the camera as one of the requirements to get the certificate. Thank you for your attention. As a token of our appreciation for his time and valuable contribution, may I invite Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman for the certificate of honor. To the organizing committee, please lead the documentation.
To Prof. Dato Ariff bin Osman, please take a look at the camera and please give the best smile. Okay, Prof, please take a look at the camera and please give the best smile. I will take a picture in 3, 2, 1. One again, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much for leading the documentation. And now, let's move on to medical supplies for Palestinians donation socialization. Ladies and gentlemen, hostilities in Palestine in recent days have caused the loss of human life and the destruction of physical infrastructure. Palestinians are in short of medical treatment. Their medical infrastructure was destroyed and they really need you right now because every human deserves to have proper medication. A small number from you is going to be a great gift to relieve their pain. As for the kind-hearted soul that want to participate, please donate to the account shown on the screen. Please note that the transfer nominal must have 01 in the end. For example, 10,001 rupiah with 01 number at the end of the nominal. Thank you for considering joining us in the movement to give Palestinians proper medical supplies. The first topic from Professor Dato Dr. Ariff bin Osman has been presented. To process all of the information given by the respected speaker, why don't we take a break for 5 minutes? Please enjoy the 5 minutes break and I will be right back at 10:14 a.m.
Blinding flash of white light lit up the sky over Gaza tonight. People running for cover, not knowing whether they're dead or alive. They came with their tanks and their planes, with ravaging fiery flames, and nothing remains. Just a voice rising up in the smoky haze. We will not go down in the night without a fight. You can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools, but our spirit will never die. We will not go down in Gaza tonight. children alike, murdered and massacred night after night, while the so-called leaders of countries afar debated on who's wrong or right. But their powerless words were in vain, and the bombs fell down like acid rain. But through the tears and the blood and the pain, you could still hear that voice through the smoky haze. We will not go down in the night without a fight. You can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools, but our spirit will never die. We will not go down in Gaza tonight. Tonight. وأجمل منك لم تر قط عيني، وأطيب منك لم تلد النساء، وأجمل منك لم تر قط عيني، وأطيب منك لم تلد النساء. يا رب العالمين وبحق المسلمين حمدين وشاكرين، الله الله الله، وبيد رسول الله اسقني شربة نجاح، الله الله الله، صلى الله
All right, break time is already over. May I request the audiences to back on top of the box for the next topic. Before we move on, I would like to welcome Dr. Insinyur Syarif Hidayat to the room. We are pleased to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are all ready for the second presentation from the respected speaker, Dr. Insinyur Syarif Hidayat, about optimizing the potential of mosques as catalysts for civilization in the pandemic era. And of course, I would be love to hand it over to the moderator, Ahmad Razi Maulana Alnas.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning again to all the participants of the first Muslim Managerial Leadership Camp 2021 with the topic Embracing True Muslim Leadership Personality. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. Alhamdulillah that we can right now, right in front of you, Zoom, to be in the second sessions that we will learn from our second speaker, Dr. Insinyur Syarif Hidayat, Magister Technique, with the topic of optimizing the potential of mosques as catalysts for civilizations in the pandemic era. Right before we start, let me introduce our second speaker. Dr. Insinyur Syarif Hidayat, Magister Technique, Doctor of Philosophy, was born in 29th August 1962, who took the educations of Bachelor of Science in Department of Electrical Engineering in Institut Teknologi Bandung, 1988, and continued for the Master of Science in 1991. He also achieved the Doctor of Philosophy in Department of Electrical Engineering in University of Tokyo in 1996, and then back to Institut Teknologi Bandung as lecturer. His professional career was active in many professional organizations, as a member of Institute of Electrical Engineer of Japan, Society of Atmospheric Electricity of Japan, Indonesian Society of High Voltage Engineer, and many more. He is also active in Islamic organizations, as our chairman of Yayasan Pembina Masjid Salman ITB Bandung from 2009 to 2017. And then right now, he is the chairman of Asosiasi Masjid Kampus Indonesia, and also active as a member in MUI and ICMA. In 2004, he was awarded with ASEAN Outstanding Engineering Award from the ASEAN Federations of Engineering Associations. His professional career was blessed as the founder of National Lightning Detection and Mapping Network and more other 30 related tools. He received for 12 patents and 4 copyrights and more than 30 scientific international publications, with many of his contributions specifically to Islamic and campus mosques. In these sessions, we will be delivering a presentation about optimizing the potential of mosques as catalysts for civilization in the pandemic era. I'm sure that every participant also eager to watch the presentations, so let me remind you once more to pay full attention, turn on your camera and mute the microphone. If there are any questions, we will also have a discussion section after the presentations, and you are open to write it down in the chat box. Here we come for the second session, and with honor, let we welcome our second speaker, Dr. Insinyur Syarif Hidayat. Time and platform is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to meet you today to share with you about a topic that I consider is very heavy. For myself, to be honest, it's too heavy. Anyhow, I try to deliver what you ask and to address the topic. Please allow me to share my presentation. Still not allowed by the administrator.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Syarif, maybe we'll like to take time to turn off the share screen first, so it is available for you to share screen. Okay, so is it available for you to start sharing the screen, because our screen has been turned off?
Have you seen?
Maybe it is still loading right now, bro.
Okay.
But we'll take it. Oh yeah, it's
it's
there
okay
right
now.
now. Yeah, it's open now.
Optimizing the potential of mosques as catalyst for civilization in the pandemic era. As I told you before, it's very heavy, even too heavy for me. So I try to parse it. Instead of delivering all phrases, I would emphasize it in mosques as catalyst for civilization, not specifically addressed in the pandemic era. But if necessary, when it comes to question and answer, I try to address any questions related to the situation in pandemic era, especially my experience in running our social work in Masjid Salman Bandung, which have been continuously running since the beginning of pandemic era till now. We are now still developing many projects, both services and technologies, to address the problem with COVID-19. For instance, now Masjid Salman is running as one of the center for vaccinations. Masjid Salman also serve people to deliver oxygen bottles, for instance, and also running our home for self-isolation, supporting people with the problem with economic due to the pandemic. But also we are now producing ventilators, oxygen concentrators, liquid oxygen bottles, and many others. I have to say to you that Masjid Salman never stopped serving. The message we want to deliver to people is we must not be lament with the social distancing and social restrictions problem. Indeed, masjid as a place for gathering people must restrain itself from gaining people in large number due to the potential problem with the spreading of our virus. But masjid as a center of community services must not stop running its services. Of course,
excuse me,
not
Mr.
in,
Syarif,
yes.
is it true that the screen is turned off right now? Maybe is there any mechanical issue that we can try to help?
Hey, you see?
Yeah, it is start to loading right now.
Okay.
Yes, it is fine right now.
Beyond the address of the pandemic crisis, masjid must indeed serve society to be a catalyst, to be the center for catalyst development for civilizations. Why? Because we claim that Islam is one of the sources of civilizations, not only sources, but superior sources that we must give evidence, not only claim. That's the problem. Our problem is we have too much claim of Islamic religion, of Islamic teaching, but lack of proof. So the respect of people around the world is not so good, because people want to see the evidence, not the claim. Too much claim without proof is not a good idea for us to promote Islam. In case of dakwah in Masjid Salman, I would say to you that dakwah in Masjid Salman is not much in speech. Maybe you know that there are many kind of dakwah delivered orally, say tabligh akbar, and so on. You rarely can find in Masjid Salman that kind of activity, because we consider that verbal message is not a good one. We have to understand that one among many successful institutions to propagate its value is, for instance, Hollywood, the center of movie in America. It's deeply penetrate our life, our way of life, our worldview by its manuals, and we hardly can resist. For instance, we have been misled by approaching that was means something that is orally, with kind of debates, with kind of speeches, with kind of sermons. In Masjid Salman, not so much. We change it to real activity of empowering people, of delivering services, and so on. Okay, let's try. I'm sorry that I may not be able to deliver this fully in English, so sometimes I must deliver it in Bahasa. I believe you will also take benefit by me to use Bahasa instead of English. Don't worry, all the text is English. So let's first check what is being civilized. That is adjective word. In UK, you usually civilized by S instead of Z. Means developed. A civilized society or country has a well-developed system of government, culture, and way of life that treats the people who live there fairly. I have to say, our recent news from Kalimantan that our Ahmadiyah believers is bullied by its neighborhood is not that kind of fair treatment to others with different belief. By this, I don't say that we agree with Ahmadiyah. By this, I want to say nobody may be harmed or bullied due to its different view of life. It's quite similar to us. Please imagine that now you live in Canada as a minority, as an alien. You will be very easy if your neighborhood allow you to perform your religious activity, as long as it doesn't harm others. Let's treat our neighbor, our friends, even our enemy fairly. That is civilized. And that is actually Islam, because Islam is sent by our God to be our guidance in our duty in the world, to be rahmatan lil alamin. Not rahmatan lil muslimin, not rahmatan lil mu'minin, not rahmatan lil muttaqin, but rahmatan lil alamin. Now let's see, what is civilization? A civilization is a complex society that is characterized by urban development, city development. Civilizations is adherence to the physical fact of city, civic, city, civilization, civilized. Even in Arabic, Madinah, Din, Madani has one root. Tamadun, one root with that. City, being civilized, religion, and that. So, society characterized by urban development. Without city, without interaction that is intensive, there is no civilization. Social stratification, a form of government, a symbolic system of communication such as writing and so on. Second, historically, a civilization has often been understood as a larger and more advanced culture, in implied contrast to smaller, supposedly primitive cultures. I have to say to you that if you are alone, say in the forest, nobody bothers if you yell, if you do something, say not compatible with others, because nobody will be harmed, nobody will be annoyed by you. People who live in the city must respect, must serve others. People who fail to respect others, we call it uncivilized. In bahasa, we call it kampungan. We call it deso. We call it katro. We call it unfit to live in city. Even though you are you like very much with kind of music when you live in compound, you must slow down. You must soften your volume of music in order to be moderate with our next door who may be in preparation for examination and others. We must be modest. We must consider others. That is being civilized. Civilizations is a complex meaning of that society, characterized to be live in urban area, has social stratification, has job diversification, has a government, has a rule, and so on. That is civilization. Civilization is an advanced state of human society in which a high level of culture, science, industry.
Sorry, Mr. Syarif, the share screen is turned off again, unfortunately.
Okay. In which a high level of culture, science, industry, and government has been reached. Culture, in other side, is the set of knowledge, experiences, and behaviors which is commonly shared by a group of people. Culture sometimes serves as an identity of a group of people. It is sometimes that a person gains through learning from its ancestors. For instance, with claim of culture of batik and grace in Indonesia. That's a kind of marking of our society that is not shared with others, say with our friends from Malaysia. Even though, for instance, stewardesses from Singapore Airlines wear batik is not their culture. Batik is Indonesian culture. Okay. To have an understanding, a deeper understanding, I have to bring you to the comparison of culture and civilization. Culture is a term used to denote the manifestation of manner in which we think, behave, and act. Civilization refers to a process through which a region of society outreaches an advanced stage. Culture is the result, the end, the performance, while civilization is the means. Culture represents what we are, who we are. Civilizations represent what we possess. Culture reflected in religion, art, dance, literature, customs, moral, music, philosophy, etc. Civilization in a harder means: law, administration, infrastructure, architecture, social arrangement. Culture expression is in high level of inner refinement, how we treat our neighbor, how we treat our foods, and so on and so on. While civilization expressed in higher level of general development. Culture doesn't advance, while civilization advances. Culture, grew, and exist cannot grow and exist without people. Culture always connected to people. Civilization can grow without culture. We can import civilization, but we cannot import our culture. Okay, next, let's see what is the characteristic of civilizations. Historians define civilizations as societies that have following characteristics. To be regarded as civilized, to be regarded as being civilized, a society must have: number one is an urban area, city with stable food supply. We have to say that in the beginning of civilizations, it always be connected to the stable food supply. That's why ancient civilizations are always connected to river. In Mesopotamia, in Egypt, in China, in Indus, all connected to river, where cultivation can take place in order to fulfill people's food. By fulfilling people's food, people can advance their culture and so on. Number two is system of government. Number three, job specialization. Number four, social structures. Number 5, religious system. Number 6, advances in technology. Number 7, highly developed written language. And number 8 is highly developed culture. Let's see one by one. Number 1 is city. When many cultures gather together in the population growth, they move from being communities to town to cities. Once civilization could create surplus food, population grow and city boom. Cities, large area that have political centers, social center, and financial centers. To have a city, we need law and government. Without that, there is no city. Government are necessary for protection of citizens from each other and from outside forces. In the past, in ancient period, city is always characterized by its fortress surrounding it in order to protect its people. People subscribe to government to benefit from rule of law. I have to say to you, under the sky, number 2 has a very strong power to humankind is government, is state, is country. It has the power to force us to obey, not unlike any other organizations. Government of a country, that is state, has a very strong and forceful power. That is government system of rule of our community or civilization to keep order. And we agree to perform that. Number 3 of the elements of civilizations is job specialization. There is a teacher, there is a farmer, there is a artist, law enforcer, and so on. But also, like or not, in the civilization, there is a social structure. The have and the have not, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudras, and so on, in certain area. In many forms, there is always stratifications, even here in Indonesia. People close to Istana has a different treatment from our police, for instance. In the case of, say, defamations in the social media, compared to the opposition people, there's a fact. We may not like it, but there is a fact. Number 5, religion. Religion is a system of belief which usually involve belief in higher power or supernatural force. Religion has been unifying forces in many civilizations, while in others it serves to divide. The last, a shared system of belief and goals among group of people that can include God or gods, ritual ceremonies, the yellow letter, the yellow word is added by myself, and values and way of life. Westerner usually doesn't include values and way of life. So in our academic discussion of religions, religion is something related to worship, something related to rituals, but not something related to values and way of life. I have to say, any religion must have a set of value of way of life, whether it's Islam or Christian or Hinduism or Tao or others. Always. Technology, the use of technology has been associated at the level of civilization within culture. No countries now regard it as being highly civilized without the development of technologies inside. If we are now not being highly regarded by others in our social relationship among nations, is because our development in technology, our engagement in technology is very low. We import everything, even salt, even wealth, even meat. Number 7 is writing system. Without this, no transmission, no proliferation, no record, and no advancement in food, trade, law, and religion, and so on. We need a kind of lingua franca to propagate our ideas. And the last one is arts. And sometimes architecture is that. Okay. I told you before that ancient civilizations are always connected, associated with food and with river. Huaho River region in China, Indus River in India, Pakistan, Mesopotamia in Middle East, Nile Valley in Egypt, Mesoamerica, Mayas, Aztec, and so on in Central America, and Andean region in Southern America. All are connected with food. The basic of the civilizations is the fulfillment of food. So if we now have any kind of war, hard war or cold war or proxy war, are always connected with security of food and security of energy. There are sometimes other issues, but basically why America presence in Arab and Gulf and just leave Afghanistan, and why now South China Sea become hotspot, is because of that necessary food and energy. That is the plus point of international war. Now, if we understand that there are many kinds of civilizations, mostly characterized by religion. The divisions of civilizations nowadays is emphasized by mostly religion. Western civilizations is characterized by Judeo-Christian religion. The green one is characterized by Islam religion. The dark yellow is predominantly Hinduism. Yellow is prominently Buddhist. The red is Confucianism and others. We divide civilization based on religion. Now, what is Islamic civilization, if there is any? And what is Islamic culture? Islamic civilization is an advanced state of human society in which a higher level of culture, science, industry, and government has been reached, inspired by values of Islam. Islamic culture is the set of knowledge, experiences, customs, and behavior which is commonly shared by a group of people which is inspired by values of Islam. I have to say to you, even our beloved moderator, where Javier, that is an example of culture, the expression of identity. Somehow, it's inspired by value of Islam, but maybe biased by, inspired by lifestyle of Arabic. We have to distinguish this. For instance, in Islam, in Arabic custom, it's a rule. It's an expression of arrogance. If people were dressed up to ground, so that our Prophet, our Rasulullah, asks us to raise up. The problem is the custom is the expression of belief. The message from Rasulullah is, please be humble. I believe in Indonesia, it's not common. It's weird to people to wear dress or pants up to ground. We have to catch the idea. We have to catch the message. Okay. I'll say you inspired by values of Islam. But what is values of Islam? To distinguish with others that this is Islamic civilization, not Western civilization, not Christianity civilization. This is Islam. What is the core value of Islam? There are three core values of Islam. One is belief in the responsibility of what we do now with God's judgment. In Al-Baqarah ayat 3, Alladzina yu'minuna bil ghaibi wa yuqimuna as-salata wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun. Number 2 is careful maintenance of quality of self-humanity by performing ibadah mahdah. Number 3, conduct main duty of life to serve humanity and the world. In Surah Al-Ma'un, God warned us that people who perform salat but doesn't perform the result, the outcome of salat is in vain. Fawailul lil musallin alladzina hum an salatihim sahun alladzina hum yura'una wa yamna'una. Just perform salat but doesn't perform what must be done after salat. That is to serve people with useful things. That is number 3. Conduct main duty of life to serve humanity. Wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun. They use their rizki, the share from God to others. That is actually the core values of Islam. Of course, we must perform ibadah mahdah, but that's just enough. why we must declare ourselves by shahada, because by that we declare that we are that we believe in God, that God will follow, will write anything from us, big and small, and we must take responsibility. That is actually the meaning of Alladina yu'minuna bil ghaib, Alladina yu'minuna bil akhirat. Why we must believe in akhirat? Because in akhirat everything will be paid out, good or bad. Some people say in Buddhist, they believe in what's so called as karma. By belief in karma, people try to do good things because they want to be reborn in a better state. So they watch what they did now in order to make them elevate. That is a kind of values. People in China, for instance, they have what's so called as rumah sembahyang, meja sembahyang. They always report to their ancestor, grandma, I've been graduated. Your grandson has new home. Or just report, please forgive me, I failed in exams. That's a kind of responsibility, actually. Religion without the sense of responsibility is meaningless. It's just a kind of identity, but not the real way of life. That's why religion is very, very important in civilization. And that's why, even though some people has the identity of Islam, doesn't actually belongs to Islam way of life, because they don't believe in responsibility. And now, what's our dream with Islam in Indonesia in regard of civilization? We are dreaming that in 40 years, Indonesia prevails the world. In 40 years, Indonesia leads ASEAN in terms of civilization index. Now, you know that we are behind Singapore, behind Malaysia, behind Thailand, and in some terms, even behind Vietnam. The nation in 1975 still in war. Why? Because we don't advance our elements of civilizations. We don't watch our step so that be behind them. But in order to recapture our culture, we must have the dream. I strongly ask you to join the dream. Otherwise, we'll be the loser. While on the other hand, Allah asks us to be the champion. Kuntum khairu ummah ukhrijat linnas ta'muruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhauna 'anil munkar. You are the best people sent to the world who can prevent munkar and promote ma'ruf. You know, munkar is a kind of aggravations of people against others, while ma'ruf is a good deed, a kind of respect and serve. That is ma'ruf. If we cannot promote ma'ruf and we cannot prevent munkar, we are not simply the best people, the best nation, the best society. I've tried to find a comprehensive index to mark our stage of civilization. Here, I am inspired by Hadith and Al-Quran, that the civilization has two indices. One is the index of requirement or pre-requirement, and the second is index performance. Without fulfillment the requirements, we cannot be civilized. But without the real performance, even our capital of civilizations is not performed. For instance, America has almost all things to fulfill the requirements of being civilized, but they fail to serve humanity in the world. America spent more than $1 billion in Afghanistan. What is the gain for America? What is the gain for Afghanistan? Nothing. America spent more than $1 billion in Iraq. What they got? What Iraq got? Nothing. No respect, no advancement in humanity, no advancement in democracy, no advancement in government, no advancement in prosperity, nothing. Just chaotic country. Why? Because America has technology. America has excellent human capital, but they poor in serving humanity. They went to Afghanistan not to serve humanity. They came to Afghanistan just to revenge. Just to revenge. Rasulullah said, the strongest man among you is not one who won in battle, but who can preserve himself while being angry and give forgiveness. So, to be civilized, we have to fulfill three. One is advances public services. No country, no society can reach serving and respecting people without good public services. Public services, I mean, comprises of governance, management, public utility, infrastructures, and suprastructures. What I call suprastructures is undang-undang, peraturan, best of practices, and others. Infrastructures may include any public utility, terminal, irrigations, water treatment, and so on. If our society claim that we are inspired by Islam, but fail to perform, to keep our commonplace clean, it's a failure. We fail in advancing public services. That is what called by our Prophet as idza matabna adama in qata amaluhu illa bisalas. First is amilatun jariyatun. Amal Jariyah. What is Amal Jariyah? Amal Jariyah is a services, goods that is benefited by large people. So being a wali kota, being a bupati, being an anggota DPR and others, and being the head of seminar committee is actually performing our public services, including being ketua kelas, being presidents of student body and others. That's a kind of services. I urge you to be very keen to serve others in any aspect, in any kind. The second is innovation. What is innovations? Innovations is inventions brought to market. In our education systems, governments and universities and professors are misled by promoting what's called the citation index. Citations index is misleading. Why? Because if we now can do our web seminar, it's because of technology. It's because of innovation. On the other hand, we fulfill ourselves by just citing. It's good for us that our knowledge is cited by others. Itu menipu diri sendiri. Our ultimate goals is our knowledge, our technology is to serve humankind, to produce technology, to produce goods, to produce services. That is innovation. No country, no society in the past, now, and in future can serve people, can honor people without innovation. That is the second of Rasul hadis. Ilmun yuntafa'u bih. Knowledge that is benefited by people. The third is waladun solihun yad'ulah. The term walad is quite similar to bani, but bani means anak kandung, while walad is anak didik. By saying walad instead of bani, Rasulullah asks us to raise up young generations in general, not our anak kandung. No, that's in line with our good things to raise up the orphan, anak yatim. That's a good deed in Islam. Excellence education of young people in line and with SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. Why? Because in hadith it's called waladun solihun yad'ulah. Solihun mean can develop. In the contrary to devastate, to destroy, fasada. Saleha means to build, to develop. In contrary to fasada, to destroy, to devastate, and others. But the second is yad'ulah. It's a kind of connections among generations, means sustainable. We must leave our forest intact for our younger generations. Unlike now, we now have every year draft, fresh start, forest fires. Why? Because our greed to take advantages from our nature. That is not SDGs. The second index of civilizations is the index of performance. We have to perform to be regarded as being civilized. That is stated in Surah Al-Balad. Falaqtaha malaqabah wa madraka malaqabah. Fakku raqabah. To free people from slavery. The second is fakku raqabah. Au it'amu fi yaumin dhi masghabah yatimang damak rabah au miskinan damak rabah. To give food to others. To orphan that has kind of relationship, and to the poor. That means fair treatment and prosperous. In bahasa it's adil dan beradab. Adil dan makmur, sorry. Summa kana minal ladina amanu wa tawassaw bis sabri. Sabr means we have rigor plan of life. We don't give up to any problem, to any temptation. Why our industry now is not growing? Because we are very easy, very cheap to be bought by Chinese, by Japanese, by Singaporean, to be deviated from rigor plan. And the last one is to serve humanity and the world. Summa kana minal ladina amanu wa tawassaw bis sabri wa tawassaw bil marhamah. Watawa is to keep each other. You know that in Islam, if people die, and somebody dies, then it has a kind of an act. It must be performed by ancestor, by a predecessor. That's a kind of watawaso, wasiat, watawasaw. Tawasaw means wasiat. Wasiat must be performed, must be adherently done. Okay. How can we advance our civilization? How can we raise up our stage of civilization? Civilization is always associated with leading figures. We know Sukarno, associated with Indonesia. We know Alexander the Great. We know Pharaoh. We know Mahatma Gandhi. Always leading figures. Leading figures not always leader. Sometimes just influencer. Sometimes just pioneer. Changing to elevate our civilizations need leading figures as catalyst and locomotive. Highly educated young people like you all with solid value of life. I have to emphasize, highly educated young people with solid value of life, solid belief in religions and others, are best candidates to be next leading figures. You are the agent of changes. You are the catalyst, actually, not masjid. Masjid is a place to produce you, a place to raise you up, a place to make you family. familiarize you with the problem. Okay, what kind of profile of catalyst we need to bring up our people to new advances of civilization? Is a superior. That is a superior, that manusia unggul, which has good spiritual index, good social quality, intellectual and professional. Second, that superior must highly influencing people, not a lone ranger. We need not a lone ranger. We need a highly connected person with its people. The superior person of the leading figures must have good spiritual index. That's independent, merdeka. Continuous self-improvement. Honest, positive thinking, and never give up. Has a sense of cooperation. Not making new party because not elected as the head of party. Not making new organizations because of fail to be the chairman of the organization. Serve people and Islam.
Excuse me, Mr. Syarif, maybe we have time limit in this session.
Okay.
Maybe our time is still about 2 minutes left.
Okay. Next, highly influencing people. I want young people to be bergaul, to get along. There are 3 options. Whether you are a visionary and effective leader, or involved in big organizations, or become a media darling. How can we proceed? Now you are in the red term, that is forming era. After that, post-forming, and we hope that in age of around 40 you are performing. But before that, you have been reformed by your parents. Now you are in the age of 18 to 23, forming. How can we produce highly capable catalysts? First is develop strong organization. Masjid must be strong. Human capital. Ya, pengurus masjid, the management of masjid must be high respected people. Must have a high social level. Management, infrastructures, and funding as a melting pot of spiritual center of excellence. Masjid must be better than more. We have not to be dictated by more, but we have to be dictated by more. We have to have masjid with facility, with services better than more, better than other gathering area. The second is develop catalysts of advanced civilization which are superior in spiritual index and so on. The third is develop good cooperation with other organizations, specifically with universities. Why? Because you are, as a student, candidates for next leaders and next pioneers. The last one is pioneer civilized masjid. What is civilized masjid? Honor and serve people. Honor and serve people. That is civilized. So masjid must serve in all aspects of life, spread out both physically and virtually. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the amazing presentation to Mr. Syarif Hidayat for how opening our minds to about the masjid or mosque we can know now that the civilization works, how can it develop, and how it relives many cultures, and how a strong mosque have a center and a part of the building civilization itself, and how the Islamic concept lives among the civilizations to develop under the spirit of Managerial and of Islamiyah itself. And I'm sure that every participant here would like to ask. And let me remind you, to ask, you can raise your hand in the Zoom, or maybe you can write it down in the chat box.
Gimana aksen bahasa?
Okay. And it's fine. Mungkin boleh juga kita gunakan bahasa Indonesia kalau ada kesulitannya. Oh, Mr. Syarif, we have a question maybe sent in my private chat. It is in English. Would you like me to help to translate to Bahasa, or maybe you like to make it stay in English?
It's up to you.
Okay, so we have a question here. Oh, the people who asked would like to make it anonymous. So there's a question that how can we have the most to have positive impacts for a civilizations among non-Muslim civilizations? Maybe like if we live in countries or maybe in province with less Muslim peoples, how can we optimize the mosque to give impact for the civilizations?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you know dakwah means promote. You know, promote. Iklan. Advertisement. It's always outreach. You will never find any advertisement which is judging. No. Always promote good side. Also, you will not buy a mango from street vendor who say, please don't buy others mango because it's sour, it's rotten. That's a kind of negative campaign. Instead, people will be more respectful to the street vendor who say, our mango is better than others. Please try. If you satisfied, please buy. So masjid must act dakwah like that, must outreach, must consider that others are intelligent to understand, not by judgment, not by hard way, but offer a good alternative for their need. In bahasa saya itu say, masjid dapat berfungsi sebagai agent promosi, agen dakwah. Kalau kita outreach, kalau kita menjangkau, kalau gaya dakwah kita hanya mengatakan ini haram itu halal, gitu, orang nggak tertarik. Saya tanya pada kalian, mau nggak kalian masuk agama QQ? Ada yang mau nggak? QQ. Agama QQ itu di dalam bahasa Jepang itu istilahnya untuk agama Islam. Bahasa Jepang agama Islam itu QQ. QQ itu agama muterin Ka'bah. Tutup mata kalian, tutup informasi kalian. Agama QQ itu harus sholat 5 kali sehari, harus puasa 1 bulan selama 1 tahun, harus haji, tapi boleh punya istri 4 ya. Itu orang Jepang. Tertarik nggak dengan agama macam itu? Nggak tertarik. Jadi penting sekali kita promote dengan betul. Orang tahunya agama Islam itu aja, orang Jepang. Apalagi sesudah penyerangan World Trade Center, tambah parah. Tidak ada contoh-contoh hidup yang real menyatakan ternyata orang Islam itu unggul. Apalagi kemudian kekeliruan kita mengatakan bahwa agama Islam itu identik dengan Timur Tengah. Seolah-olah kalau nggak bergaya Timur Tengah kurang Islam. Sorry. Saya tidak mengatakan orang Timur Tengah itu tidak Islam. Tetapi tidak ada bedanya orang Arab dengan bukan orang Arab. Tidak ada bedanya orang putih dengan orang hitam dan sebagainya. Semuanya punya potensi yang sama. Cuma ekspresi kultural saja. Yang esensinya, apakah kita percaya bahwa perbuatan kita harus dipertanggungjawabkan di akhirat? Apakah kita memelihara diri untuk terbebas dari fahisha dan mungkar dengan melaksanakan sholat dan seterusnya? Bukan sekedar sholat, tapi fasanya tetap dikerjakan, mungkarnya dikerjakan. Tetap mencuri, tetap negara juara korupsi. Apakah kita bertindak menjadi khalifatullah fil ard dengan mengurus dunia, bukan membiarkannya sekarang terbakar dengan perubahan iklim yang luar biasa yang mengancam kelangsungan? Ada enggak itu begitu? Poinnya di situ, bukan ekspresi budayanya, tapi core values-nya yang harus diambil. Jadi masjid nggak akan dirindui kalau masjid cuma jadi tempat adzan saja. Adzannya pun di stylenya keras-keras lagi. Bukan cuma buat adzan juga, sebelum subuh juga ngajinya dimasukkan. Padahal nggak ada perintah apapun dari Nabi soal itu. Itu cuma ekspresi budaya saja. Padahal zaman dulu mungkin masih homogen. Kalau sekarang sudah tidak homogen, itu menenggang orang dong. Marah lagi kalau adzannya disuruh dikurangi. Seolah-olah menentang agama Islam. Cuma menentang ekspresi budaya. Coba masjid sekarang ditutup, kemudian orang marah-marah. Mall ditutup, masjid juga ditutup. Gimana lagi tempat ibadah? Ibadah kan nggak cuma sholat. Menjadi tempat pusat penampungan orang-orang yang isolasi mandiri. Menjadi tempat vaksinasi. Tempat di mana beras bisa diambil orang tengah malam. Karena malu kalau ngambilnya siang hari karena terputus rezekinya karena COVID. Ada nggak masjid yang menyelenggarakan itu? Itu poinnya. Saya ingin kalian mengerti. Saya berharap kalian bercita-cita punya masjid yang orang datang diam-diam ke masjid untuk ngambil berasnya. Karena kalau ketahuan siang malu. Nggak mau memperlihatkan tangannya di bawah. Padahal memang nggak punya lagi. Ada orang macam ada. Dan kita harus mampu menyediakan. Itulah masjid yang saya maksud sebagai pioneer in civilized masjid. Masjid yang menghargai dan melayani. Bukan cuma melayani, tapi menghargai. Bahkan orang miskin pun kita hargai. Nggak diberi di depan umum. Biar dia ngambilnya diam-diam. Bagaimana caranya? Teknologi lah. Misalnya pakai ATM beras, kayak apa. Kayak. Gitu ya. Tidak diekspos. Tidak sambil dipotret, dikasih ayam sepotong begitu. Itu yang saya ingin kalian mengerti. Oke, next.
Thank you very much for the answer. And we have one participant, Kurnia Aman Hasibuan, who would like to raise his hand. And please turn on your microphone to ask the questions.
Thank you very much, Bang Razi. And my question is, we can see that our campus life turns out amazing around the campus masjid. What can be a possible solution in this pandemic when our time and our meeting in masjids are reduced significantly? Thank you, Bang.
Can Razi repeat the questions?
Okay, so let me repeat the questions. Can I help you to do I need to help to set it in Bahasa? So the question is about that life in campus is amazing around the mosque, but now in pandemic life we spend less time in campus, or maybe we spend less time to go to the campus mosque. So how can we improve that the part of the mosque in campus life?
There are many things. Even though we admit that there is restrictions in physical situations, but masjid still can serve if we make the function of masjid not merely physical building for sermon, for worship and others, but also for act as the point of services. We can by using the network of masjid jamaah of masjid, we can tell others that some people may need support in food, some people may need some support in medicines and others. People who feel being supported by others tend to have a higher immune condition because feel not alone, feel being supported. So that kind of community engagement is basic services we can offer. For instance, in case of Masjid Zaman in Bandung, much more that we organize other masjids in surrounding of Bandung. We organize other masjid in Indonesia to do something to others. So masjid can be utilized not only for worship, but also to serve humanity. I understand the physical problem with that, but masjid is not only a building. Masjid is an atmosphere. That's one.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you very much for Mr. Syarif Hidayat for the answer. And maybe I would like to inform that unfortunately our second session is running out of time, and that if any other participant would like to ask, we still can. You can still ask in the chat box, and the committee will try to forward it to Mr. Syarif Hidayat. Maybe before we close it, is there any other closing statements or maybe closing message from Mr. Syarif Hidayat to tell to all of the participants today?
As a closing statement, I ask you all to understand that to be civilized, to be Islamic civilized means to use Islam as sources of values of us, not as just an identity, not just as an identity, but as a source of future, the source of knowledge, and the source of inspirations. There are many inspirations we can obtain from Quran and also from Sunnah Rasul. So we can advance, we can elevate our state of civilizations. What is civilization? Civilization is a complex state of honor, of respect, and serve others. Then that is the very vision of Risalah. Wa ma arsalnaka illa rahmatan lil alamin. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the closing statement, Mr. Syarif Hidayat. Maybe before we actually end the second session, let me send a little pantun here. So, no matter how far we have been, people live and shelter below the dome. The civilization always depends on this deen, and the mosque will always be our home. May the second sessions be barakah and deeds inside of Allah SWT. I am Ahmad Raja as the moderator. Would like to apologize for any mistake during conducting the second sessions. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much for assistance, moderator. Wow, another incredible presentation from our respected speaker. Seems like today is our lucky day to have both of them. Truly an amazing experience. I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Insinyur Syarif Hidayat for the presentation. Once again, all the participants are obligated to activate the camera in order to get the certificate. Thank you for your attention. As a token of our appreciation for his time and valuable contribution, may I request Dr. Insinyur Syarif Hidayat for the awarding of certificate. To the organizing committee, please lead the documentation.
Okay. To Insinyur Syarif Hidayat, please take a look at the camera and please give the best smile. I will take a picture in 3, 2, 1. One again. 3, 2, 1. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for leading the session. We will move to the next one, a documentation. During the documentation, may I request all the participants to turn on your camera and use the provided virtual background. And not to forget your most gorgeous smile for the best results. To the organizing committee, I'll leave it to you.
Okay. To all the participants, we would like to take a photo together. Please turn on your camera and give your best smile. I will take a picture on by one slide. Start from slide number 1. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 2. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 3. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 4. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 5. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 6. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 7. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 8. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 9. 1, 2, 3. Slide number 10. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much to organizing committee for leading the session. Both topics have been presented. We think it would be great if we know what you think about your experience with us today. I would like to seek your cooperation to fill the participant feedback form through the link in the chat box. Please click on the chat icon and then click on the link sent by the organizing committee. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Saya pamit ya, terima kasih. Selamat berkarya.
Terima kasih, Pak. Terima kasih, Pak.
وأجمل منك لم تر قط عيني وأطيب منك لم تلد.
Thank you very much, Dr. Syarif Hidayat.
وأجمل منك لم تر قط.
Thank you, Dr. Syarif Hidayat, for your coming.
بيد رسول الله اسقني شربة نجاح. الله 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 صلى الله على طه خير الخلق وأحلاها. خير الخلق
Izin live ya, adik-adik. Assalamualaikum.
Terima kasih, Dr. Del. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
صل وسلم وبارك عليه صلاة تدوم وتصل إليه
Big thanks to every single one of you for your participation and time. The support and interest that you have been presented has been extraordinary. You all made this event more special, and I hope you all enjoy participating. Before we end this event, I would love to invite our Chaga Kombara Taqwa to lead the dua. To our Chaga Kombara Taqwa, the time is yours.
Assalamu'alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Before we close this event, let's pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nastaghfirullahalazim, 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 allazi la ilaha illallah wal hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilaih. Na'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan na'imin, hamdan yu'afi ni'amma wa yukafi mazidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalalika al-karim wa 'azimi sultanik. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali sayyidina Muhammad. Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islami dina wa bi Muhammadin sallallahu alaihi wasallam nabiyya wa rasula. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billahil aliyyil azim. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Ni'mal maula wa ni'man nasir. Bismillahilladzi la yadurru ma'asmihi syai'un fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa huwas sami'ul 'alim. Allahumma inna nas'aluka salaman fid din wa afiyatan fil jasad wa ziyadatan fil 'ilmi wa barakatan fil rizqi wa taubatan qabla al maut wa rahmatan indal maut wa maghfiratan ba'dal maut. Allahumma hawin 'alaina fi syakaratil maut wa najatan minan nar wal afwa indal hisab. Rabbana ighfir lana wa li ikhwanina alladhina bil iman ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. اللهم إنك تعلم أن هذه القلوب قد اجتمعت على محبتك واتقت على طاعتك وتوحدت على دعوتك وتعهدت على نصرة شريعتك. اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ومشايخنا وإخواننا في الدين ولأصحابنا وأحبابنا ولمن أحبنا فيك ولمن أحسن إلينا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات khusus fi Muslim Managerial Leadership Camp 2021 ya Rabbal Alamin. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqna min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma. Allahumma adfa'anna al-ghala'a wal bala' wal waba' wal fahsha' wal munkar والسيوف المختلفة والشدائد والمحان ما ظهر منها وما بطن من بلدنا إندونيسيا خاصة ومن بلدان المسلمين عامة إنك على كل شيء قدير. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وارحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله على محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين. سبحانك ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, our Chaga Kombara Taqwa, for leading the dua. We have now come to the end of the international webinar. I hope that this webinar will have a huge improvement on your skills, even though this year it is held online due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We would like to express our gratitude to all the guests, speakers, and audiences who had given us big support and help to run this program successfully. As part of the organizing committees, I would like to apologize if I have made any mistake throughout the webinar. My name is Nabila Ulfiyah Yasmin, and I will end my duty as an MC for the 2021 Region 1 Muslim Managerial Leadership Camp International webinar. Stay hydrated and healthy till we meet again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء